Hello friends, welcome to the Technomancer. I am Twinkle, and as you can tell, we're looking a little different than last time. In the last episode, we raided the Lost Dome and fought some ASC and some crazy mutant animals and uncovered a few buried artifacts along the way. And because of that, we found some new gear that I've distributed to my companions, which is why I kind of look like an asylum patient now. I didn't really talk about it at length, but the ASC breastplate that we've got here is like, it's not a huge upgrade, but it is an upgrade. It's better than anything else we could get access to right now. The militia plate that we've got Nisha wearing is actually really strong. I believe it's actually like in the top tier of armors that you can get. And since we leveled up, we now have a profession point that we can use. And I'm going to take the opportunity to put that into exploration. What that means, we no longer, oh, we're an expert. We no longer need to wear the goggles that were giving us our experience bonus, so we can wear whatever helmet we want to wear. And I've chosen to put this cap over my eyes because it makes me so much cooler, and it gives me a little bit of fluid regeneration. Very important. So, with that said, we are actually progressing very nicely. Wait, I gotta check. Do I have... Oh, and I now have a point to spend. And now... I really should have thought about this before I started the video. Now, we've completely maxed out the Technomancer tree. We bought everything there is to buy there. We are like the Gandalf of wizards. And I'm talking not like the gray one that gets his ass kicked. I'm talking about the white one that kicks ass. So now, naturally, we need to put more... The rest of our points are going to go into this tree. But I gotta figure out the best way, the best path to go down. This path focuses on upgrading your poison. It's very strong against big targets, but you know, obviously against smaller targets we already just destroy them anyway. Explosive shot is something that we're never going to use. It's like a shotgun blast that comes out of your gun, but doesn't do a lot of damage, and it overheats it really quickly. And we do not need any more help with, well, no, it's too slow to combo with our lightning storm. This tree focuses on, let's see. Alright, so positioning. So this is all about attacks from behind, critical hits from behind, just a flat increase to critical hits with daggers. And what focus does is it basically gives you a 35% chance, which stacks with this, so you have like a 70% chance just to be completely dodge an attack while it's active. And it kind of slows everything down, but not by much. Like, you'll notice it, but it's not like a significant amount. So this is an okay tree to go down. This is just an increase to our gun damage. And what this does, when we roll out of the way like Bayonetta style, we get an automatic critical hit. And if we put 2 points into it and buy the upgraded version, we can make it so that way it also applies to pistol attacks. By default, it only applies to our dagger attacks. And then this makes it so whenever we roll, like no matter what, we get an 8% increase. We get an 8% increase to criticals, you know, like with everything. And then this makes it so every time after we crit, we have another 8% chance to crit. I think, given our style, like this is the best way to go. So we're gonna buy this, and then we'll get the upgraded version. So we'll put our next couple of points down in that tree. So now, whenever we roll out of the way, you'll see the whole screen will slow down, and the next melee attack that we make, it's going to be a critical hit. And since we have Nisha in our party, let's go ahead and put on this jacket. I also got rid of our worker's jacket to keep the store jacket that we picked up before for crafting. So it just looks like this now, the engineer's coat. That's another thing that we found. And that's a purely cosmetic choice. It won't have any bearing on the game since we'll never wear it in combat.
Zachariah, what can I do for you?
I'm looking for my friend Scott. He just disappeared. Any idea where he could have gone?
Can't say that I have. He's not at the caravanserai, though. If you want, I can check with my informants. Might have joined the caravan that just left, though. Your pal looked like he was missing Ophir, honestly. Then again, maybe he was kidnapped. Never can tell.
Just let me know if you hear anything. I need to find him. Thanks for the help.
My pleasure, as always.
They found some ancient documents. Looks like they date back to the settlers, but they're written in a language I can't read.
And I thought you Technomancers were so well versed in our old dialects.
Maybe in Aurora. In Abundance, we're soldiers first and last. We learned some colonial knowledge during training, but the languages are barely taught. The Great Master was the only one who had that kind of knowledge.
So, now you need a Technomancer from Aurora to translate. I might know of someone. A renegade of sorts who left Shadowlayer to become a hermit. Word was, though, your former comrades captured him. If he managed to hide what he was, he's probably a captive in one of their forced labor camps.
And getting to him won't be easy.
Exactly. But, if you want your document translated, you might just have to find a way.
So that's our next direction that we're going to go in, go to that rehabilitation camp. But before we do that, we're going to talk to Nisha.
Hi, Nisha.
Hi, Zach.
Okay, I thought she'd have something to say about that, but I guess not. Maybe later. We'll see. But anyway, before we go to that rehabilitation camp, we are going to look at this cool tree, look at those cool ornaments, and then we are going to see if we can suss out more about what the ASC is doing. So we're going to go question some merchants, see what they're doing. I also took the liberty of buying Andrew a really weird looking mask that kind of makes him look like the chainsaw murderer from Texas. Anyway, we're going to talk to this guy and we're going to ask him who... This guy has actually given us a lot of information, and he's going to give us a little more information.
Welcome, welcome.
Hey, did you by any chance see a caravan come back from Ophir lately? Would have had some members who might have looked different than they did when they left.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. And they're no regular merchants, that's for sure. They've been trying to blend in, imitate our accents, pose, and all that. But not that well. They try damn hard, though. What happened to the real merchants? No, forget it. I don't even want to know. It scares the hell out of me. I'd rather not know.
Fair enough. Thanks.
I think we've talked to this guy every single time that we've had a quest where we need to find something out about somebody somewhere. And I don't think we bought a single thing from him. So, thanks, guy, for your generous contribution of knowledge for free. Really appreciate it. Now we're going to go upstairs and talk to that religious preacher dude. And remember, one of the first things that we did when we came into Noctis was we helped solve the plague that was going around. And it turned out his son was spreading poisoned food to all the refugees. And we chose not to kill him.
Repent!
I had something...
And that's going to change this. The choices that we have available to us.
I came here to ask for some information regarding your parishioners. Did you notice any strange behavior among some of them?
My parishioner's life is none of your business. You're not one of them, and yet you take the liberty of judging them based on your corrupt beliefs. You are not a believer. You are just one of those pragmatic cynicals, a bad seed.
I want you to remember something. Your son killed folks, all to make himself look like one of God's chosen. Remember that? You think he'd still be alive if it wasn't for me?
That's true. You show great mercy, which is a cardinal virtue. You're not the monster people describe to me. Because strange servants came to find me and warned me against you. They had told me that you had sold your soul. Though now I see through their deceit, but some members of my flock, poisoned by those lies, have one desire about the rest. To put you in the sun, who we were told was your master. Do you care to repent, my son? Your life is in danger.
Never be too careful with religious types, so I'll have to keep an eye on these folks. They can spread ideas like wildfire. So we know the spies are embedded in certain groups, but to find out who the spies are among them, we're gonna need to keep a constant eye on all of them. Can't do it on my own, though. Gonna need all my brothers and sisters to take turns, so we can stay discreet.
I can't decide whether I want to talk about how easily influenced the leader of that religion is, or the fact that his arm was clipping through my face. So, I'll just kind of briefly mention both. But yeah, like Zach said, we need to ask our Technomancer bros to help us out. And basically to go stalk suspected members of the community that might actually be ASC spies. So let's see if they're willing to sign up for that.
Greetings, Zachariah.
I'm gonna need everyone's help. ASC's infiltrated Noctis, and as you already know, that's not a good thing.
We just got away from them. Why can't they just leave us alone? What? What do you want us to do about it? Most of us are terrified of them. They're immune to our powers.
Oh, they are not. I found that out. So we can convince him, or because we are now the leader of the chapter, we can just order them. So that's what I'm going to do.
It's a mission I'm giving you as your great master. You have no idea how important it is. Just the mere presence of the ASC puts our secret at risk, and our order along with it.
Very well, great master. We acquiesce to your wisdom. What would you have us do?
From what I can tell, the spies have weaseled their way into 3 groups, but we can't move until we know which members are from the ASC. Moles, disguised themselves as mercenaries, religious zealots, and even merchants.
Then I'll dispatch some eyes to keep tabs on those groups.
Thank you.
You know how lucky we are that your Technomancer friends are gonna help us? It's terrifying to know how many groups were infiltrated. The damage they could do could bring Noctis to its knees. You really think Victor's gunning for control of the city?
He just thinks it's an obstacle he can eliminate with the sweep of a hand.
Then he's misjudged the size of the obstacle. We're a lot stronger here than he could possibly imagine.
Good morning, Zachariah. Our brothers...
So we're going to leave that one sitting while we go out to find this. Well, first we're going to rest, and then we're going to go out and see if we can liberate this guy from the camp. And we do, because we need him to translate the artifacts that we found. Because no one else can do it. No one else knows the alphabet of the ancient Egyptian I was going to say hieroglyphics, but it just got caught in my mouth. Yeah, we're actually coming close to the end of chapter 2, which is super exciting, because then that means we're going to hit chapter 3, which is much shorter than chapter 1 and chapter 2. And then we'll hit chapter 4, which is very short, and we'll be able to get in and get out super easy.
Hi,
Now,
Nisha.
I'm almost positive Nisha is going to want something to say about...
Tell me more about the
I don't really like to talk. When you get there, there are work areas.
What are those?
Brainwashing. You're locked up, you're
I'm sorry I'm skipping past her, but I don't want to waste anyone's time any more than I already have. Well, we're going to take her along anyway, but I'm pretty sure that you want to take her she's supposed to ask to come with you, but for some reason she's not. But it doesn't matter.
I think I know
Oh,
the
here-
camp Dandolo mentioned.
Here we fucking
It
go!
sounds like their main camp, so I wouldn't be surprised if the man you're looking for is there. And I want to go with you. Have a few things to settle there. This is important to me, Zachariah. What they do to the prisoners there is inhuman. I just want to help as many as I can.
You're not telling me something, are you?
I was a prisoner there once. I can't tell you what they did to me. I'm just asking you. Take me with you.
I get why you'd want to free him, but it also makes me nervous about letting you tag along. If we get there and you let your emotions run away with you, it's my life you're risking too.
You know me better than that. You've seen me keep my cool in the worst situations. Think about it all you want, but I'm the one who knows that camp by heart, remember? It's gonna be more dangerous for you to go in without me.
Baby, I was going to take you anyway. You didn't even need to ask. So let's head over to the rehabilitation camp. Yep.
What can we expect at this camp?
Judging from Nisha's face.
Whoa, your nose is stuck in your mask, brah. You need to get
Whatever
that
you're
fixed.
thinking, it's 1,000 times worse. You're taking us to hell.
But aren't they called work camps?
More like prisons, where the primary goal is to break spirits and destroy free will. Their final products are submissive beings akin to farm animals, and their methods end up destroying some and brainwashing the others.
This Aurora Technomancer we search for must be hiding in plain sight. He'll be very discreet, so we'll have to look for someone normal. Almost too normal.
I hope we're able to free the other prisoners. We could help them get a fresh start in Noctis.
I know you want to sit with the cool kids, but my rover can only hold so many people. Sorry, can't take everyone.
If we can distract the guards, I can get Dandolo to send a rescue team. It wouldn't be the first time he's done that.
If Dandolo can bring the manpower, we can bring the diversion. We'll free them.
I cannot see past the nose sticking out of her fucking mask. I never noticed that before, and I have no idea why she has that problem. But anyway, luckily we don't have to worry about her and her nose sticking through her mask problems, because
Words
it's...
alone cannot express my hatred for this place.
I warned you.
You misunderstand, Zach. Coming back here free, armed, with my rights returned to me, it's priceless. Thank you. Get him! I can't tell you how much it means to me.
Okay, that's cool. So your stealth attack is affected by your overall, it is affected by your overall power with Technomancer abilities. And look at how fast our juice is regenerating. And that's because of the mask gives us a 10% bonus on top of everything else. Plus we put all those points into power and agility earlier, so we're just gonna... Oh, hello. Get out of the way! So that attack that you just saw him do there, that shotgun blast, that is the explosive shot that we could have upgraded if we chose to. Please see! Oh my god. Okay, we're gonna take a health injection. No need to risk this any more than we already are. Good work. Man, that was scary. So these guys, it looks like they are Abundance military mixed in with ASC. Which means more of a chance to get some really good armor and a sniper rifle, apparently. Which is really weird because, like I said, we're not going to get Jeffrey back, so I don't know why they're dropping weapons that only he can use when he's never coming back in the party. But whatever, you know. I guess you can think of that as just like recycled goods that come pre-packaged. Or perhaps just money. I'm not sure. But either way, let's continue on. We're going to take this little... Well... We're going to give this guy a little bit of a friendly hug. High five, dude! We didn't quite get him, but we got close. We'll still take a shit. Thanks for the boots. Now, there's no... You don't have to worry about doing this mission stealthy. Obviously, it's kind of set up to be stealthy if you choose to be, but you just feel free to go murder everybody. And of course, this guy's not going to be by himself. Well, thank goodness that didn't disrupt my attack. And I actually think that there's some stashed Technomancer stuff here. Somewhere. Let me refresh my shield. Never forget. Technomancer jacket, we already have one of those. This is all stuff. We could give the pants to Andrew, actually. You know what, I'll do that. I'll upgrade the pants and I'll give them to him. Since... Like I said, I don't know if he does power regeneration the same way that power works for us, but it can't hurt. It's only going to be like a tiny bit of defense difference compared to the armor that he's got on right now. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and just put on the Vori jacket right now, because I can guarantee you there's going to be some locks that we're going to have to pick that are going to give me trouble, and I'd rather just put this on and just be a little extra careful in fights. Getting some good stuff out of this, though. So before one thing we have to be careful of is we have to find a way to free the prisoners before we free the translator that we're after. If we progress to him and we free him, then we won't be able to free the prisoners for some reason. I don't know why it's set up like that. It's pretty stupid. But now that you know that, hopefully you won't make the same mistake that I made before. You shot me. You shot me again. You shot me again. That guy was very rude. He shot me in the back and then in the front. What a dick. Oh, that's really good. That may be some really, really strong armor. Maybe. I don't remember. I don't even know. I don't think I've ever found that before. I'll have to see. Like, you always, I keep saying again and again, because it's one of the best tips I can give for this game.
Can't go through
You
here.
want to keep your eyes open for full suits like that one. Pieces of armor that have the word full on them for chest. Because that means they usually have an extra upgrade slot, which means that you can really take it to the max when you're gearing them out. Now there's two ways to free the prisoners. You can either find the keys like what we just found there,
I won't
or
be able to force this lock. I need a key.
well, I guess we'll have to get a different key later. You can either
I won't be able to force this lock. I need a key.
excuse me, Zach, just get the keys like what we're finding now, or you can just force them open if your lock picking is 3, which it is. Look at how powerful that was. Thought I took it all away. But I guess he forgot. So far we're doing pretty good. So what I'm finding is that the lightning storm ability, it's kind of circumstantial when you can use it. Like if you just try to use it in every fight like what I've been trying to do, you'll just get hammered. But these are the doors. We can use the
I
key,
need a key to open this door.
but we need the right key or we can just be lazy and pick it. And since we are smart and we have the ability to pick locks at level 3, we're just going to take the lazy way out and pick all their locks. So there's 6 different prisons that we have to find. Luckily, they're all marked on our map, so there'll be no question of when we've completely freed everybody. I don't know, other than the Technomancer equipment that we found earlier, if there's any real treasure of note other than these crafting pieces that we're finding. Peekaboo. Oh wow, that guy completely iced Andrew. And he hit me through my dodge. That guy was tough. A tough guy. Unfortunately, he didn't have an equally tough trophy to share with us for the trouble of beating the shit out of him. Now we'll see if we can get anything else from these guys. I have no idea why they're wearing white camo, because you'd think the last thing you'd find on Mars is snow or Arctic conditions, but apparently that's the decor that they're going for. God, these guys are a pain in my ass. I hate fighting the gun dudes. And also drops a sniper rifle. Can we go in through this door? Oh yeah, we totally can. But we're not going to though, because we've got to take care of the rest of these prisoners before we move on. And one more. I mean, it's not really optional if you're a good guy.
If we can unlock this gate, the prisoners can get out and hide while Dandolo sends them back.
I'll take care of that then. The more
Oh.
people we can get out of this hellhole, the better.
Already on top of it. Well, at least we're getting lots of crafting gear for our trouble here. I'm not familiar with this route, so I don't know if... Oh yeah, we're going the right way.
Nisha, are you alright?
Now, obviously, that room has lots of awful things, awful memories for her, so we're just gonna run right back in! Sorry, Nisha, you can wait outside, motherfucker. I got stuff to take. We just picked the lock and took the treasure out of that chest at the same time. That is multitasking. I believe there is a key in here if you want to do the chest unlockings the traditional way. If you're old-fashioned and a go-getter that actually wants to get out there and do things the right way, yeah, there's one of the keys. But we're not going to worry about that. We're going to do things the quick and efficient way.
Professor Charles Seeker?
I am. And you? You are. What does a Technomancer want?
Long story, Professor. Just know I'm a friend of Scott's. We looked for you in Ophir. Even got our hands on some of your notes, but
My research notes? On Technomancers? How? I coded them to make sure those ASC thugs couldn't read them. Did you manage to read them?
I just gave them to Scott.
Oh, good. Good. I'm sure he deciphered them with no trouble. Scott's eccentric, I know, a little unstable, especially since he lost his child. Even still, he is the greatest mind in abundance. A genius who's focused his research on people like you. Technomancers. I'm sure my notes, which I pray no one but you and Scott will see, will be a great service to him. I was able to prove nothing, really, but my work pointed to a high probability that the abilities of your kind stem from what Earthlings called gene therapy.
Not sure what that means, Professor.
Yes, of course. They modified genes to cure disease, provoked mutations, modifications that got passed on to offspring as well. Look, in theory, at least. A theory I will never get to test now, I'm afraid. Being held here. Well, I suppose it's better this way. Undeniably incredible research, but research that could also, unfortunately, lead to the enslavement of your kind. Cast you as just another mutation to be contained. You know, afraid of what they don't know. And while I'm sure there was good intention in their creation of your mutation, no one can say what that reason is.
Can you keep this a secret, Professor?
My lips are sealed, now and forever. No one else will ever be privy to my research.
Thank you, Professor. Take care.
So we're going to repay him by just leaving him here. Now, I assume he's going to hitch a ride with the other prisoners when they escape when Dandolo gets here. But yeah, if you don't remember, way back in Chapter 1, we talked to that chick that was his research secretary, or assistant, or whatever. And Scott wanted us to help out and investigate more. And we did, and it turns out that he was abducted by the ASC. And this is where he ended up. Oh, shit! Ah! I'm trying really hard not to get hit. When you see the slow-mo dodge, that means you successfully evaded and triggered the crit attack. Yeah. So that's what that was about. This is just me, Twinkle Butt, but I know if I were a professor that spent years doing all this kind of research and I was locked up in a prison, there's no way I wouldn't be able to keep it to myself. Like, I would just blab it to everybody, because otherwise I lose my mind And there's no way I just keep it a secret. I want to tell everybody and get as much recognition for my work as possible. So, sorry, Scott. I guess it's a good thing that I'm not that professor. But anyway, we are actually making some pretty good progress. I don't think we actually have to go back. I think once we find the guy that we're looking for, the game will just automatically take us out of this prison camp that we're liberating. So let's keep popping locks, because we can't come back. There's a lot of areas in the game where once you go there once, you can come back, but I'm pretty sure once you go to this area once, you can't return. Another interesting thing, if you remember way back in chapter 1 when we saved those merchants and they brought back the unconscious girl with them, and we found out that she was a member of the all-female gang that was giving the Vori trouble, we had a choice of talking to Captain Eliza and sending her to a concentration camp. This is where she would have ended up, and she would have attacked us and we would have kicked her ass. But because we chose to give her back to her gang instead, we are not going to see her. But that's just an interesting consequence that you can see if you choose that route. Now let's talk to these people and find out what they know.
I'm looking for someone. A rather old man.
What is the man doing in the camp?
He was locked up here because he was living away from corporations. He's a technomancer like me, but way older. And he comes from Aurora.
He is not sure, but he believes he recognized that the old man had the Aurora way of speaking. But he thinks that the man is mistaken because he is not a technomancer. He doesn't make lightning bolts. He is a mechanic, not a good mechanic.
Thank you very much for the information.
Before I forget about it, I'm actually going to put the chest back on. I think we picked all the locks that we need to pick.
Hello. I'm looking for a prisoner. An old man from Aurora. He's a former technomancer.
There are no technomancers here. He would be killed right away or sent to a camp as a prisoner of war. You're in the wrong camp. This here is a rehabilitation camp for deviants, dissenters. It's supposed to get us to think right again. Sorry, I don't see.
Maybe he hid what he was. He used to live far from the corporation. Maybe they mistook him for a deviant, an outcast. But he must have kept some of his mannerisms or accent from Aurora.
That could be George. I've always thought that he had a funny way of talking. He works as a mechanic. He really looks burned out. But the funny thing is, I once heard him say he was barely 50. You think he was at least 20 years older. He must have had a really bad life, worse than ours.
That could be him. Technomancy tends to age us faster. Thank you.
Well, that's not good. Well, hopefully there's some Martian anti-aging cream that we can find in some chest somewhere. Hey, asshole! I'm talking to you.
Hello.
Whoa.
I'm looking for someone.
A man? He doesn't mingle with men. Men avenge themselves upon them, so he stays away.
Alright, I understand. Goodbye.
That was a mistake. Please turn around and never talk to me again.
I'm looking for an old man. He's from Aurora, and he used to be a technomancer.
Well, you're looking for him in the wrong place. It's true that there's a guy with a funny way of speaking, but I can't believe that he's from Aurora. That sounds crazy. What would he be doing here?
Who is that man?
His name's George. An old guy, as you said, and the way he speaks sounds funny. Anyway, as if he were making fun of us with complicated words. He's a mechanic, though.
This could mean that he studied within the elite and the corporation that were a little precious. Thank you.
So let's see if we can solve the case of Curious George.
Hello. I'm looking for a man. A man in your age range. Technomancer.
A technomancer? Here? You must be mistaken, my boy. There is no technomancer here. The prisoners of war are sent elsewhere. Here we are taught to think like good citizens of abundance.
How old are you? 70?
50 years old, but I had a hard life. Unfortunately, that leaves its mark.
Like technomancy takes its toll as well.
I don't know what you mean. I don't know anything about technomancy. You should talk to someone else.
I've heard that mechanics isn't your forte. It's a good hideout, isn't it?
The person who told you that I'm not good is simply bad-mouthing me.
If you say so. But this doesn't explain the way you speak. Polished for a mechanic. Listen, let's cut to the chase. Just let me look at your temples and that'll be it.
You are the pain in the neck, you know that. Very well. I am the one you are looking for, and your relentless questioning puts me in jeopardy if the word gets out here.
I specifically came to this camp in order to find you. You brought back a dome lost in the sands, a tablet that I'm unable to translate.
It is written in the settlers' coded language, one they use for their important data. By all means, I can translate it, but this type of thing can take time, and I can't do it here.
Come with us to Noctis. I am sure that you'll find a place to stay.
Noctis.
The city of the merchants. It's an independent city. There you won't have to fear Aurora or abundance.
Well then, I'll follow you.
What that old man did was pretty amazing. Didn't manage to let a single person know he was a Technomancer or from a rival corporation. All while in a camp made to break you. Made to brainwash you. It's no ordinary man.
No one would know how much willpower a Technomancer needs to resist more than you.
Yes, that's true.
He's not letting me climb up because I can't. As you can see, we can't sprint because I'm carrying too much. Thanks for letting me know. So it just let me, yeah, we just leave this way. Luckily, we don't need to sprint because we can just walk out the door. And we'll just fast travel back to Noctis where we can sell off all this stuff.
This place.
Me too. I don't care where you take me. Anywhere is better than prison.
It stank like fucking.
Your
death
nose
in there.
is sticking through your mask.
I feel ashamed. I'm from abundance. What they do to people in there, inhuman.
To think that even Ophir looks like a paradise after seeing such a place. I am grateful, however, for we managed to save a few souls.
You okay, Nisha?
No, not really. I don't want to talk about it right now.
I get that the place could have triggered some bad memories. I'm sorry, Nisha.
Hello. This is Patience, the Technomancer you told me about.
Ah, nice. Free of that shadow-forsaken labor camp. Must have been a living hell. A sincere pleasure to meet you.
Yes, nice to be free, but to be honest, I'm now stuck with no place to go. Can't and won't go back to Aurora. And Abundance was always so accommodating that I can imagine the hospitality if they had known about my talents. Damn the ASC. And ever since my little desert refuge has been discovered, it's become a tad less cozy. Here I am, no roof, no real belongings. Only thing I have is this guy here who won't leave me alone until I translate some ancient text for him.
Well, I can't help with Mr. Mancer's needs for a translator, but I can give you a roof. It's the Noctis way, for we say, give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. Welcome to your new home, Patience. There are some empty houses in the northern part of the city. I'm sure we can set you up there.
Thank you, and a sincere pleasure to meet you, Dandolo.
Awesome. So he needs some time to decipher the text. I think that's literally... So we can't find Scott until later. Do you have anything
Zachariah.
to say, Dandolo? Nope. So, yep, that's literally the last thing we have. And then once we do that, we can go on to some exciting revelations. So I am going to sleep. Well, no. Let's talk to...
Good morning, Zachariah.
Okay, no, he didn't find anything. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to sleep off the time, sell off that extra stuff, distribute the gear that I found. If there's any upgrades, I'll talk about in the next video. But for now, this is a great cutoff point. I am Twinkle, this is the Technomancer, and you have a fantastic day.